Hello everyone, how are you all? I'm again here for a new topic related to object oriented programming, not in only in C++. The topic which we learn today is a topic which is very important topic in any object oriented programming. And the topic is, as you can see on the screen, function overloading. So function overloading is basically a concept which is related to the concept of polymorphism. Have you heard about polymorphism? I think you maybe heard about it whenever you have learned any object oriented programming, because it is the main feature of object oriented programming. So polymorphism is a word which is used in other subjects also, having the same meaning as in object oriented programming. So polymorphism is a Greek word meaning one name, many forms. As you can see on the screen, in other words, one object has many forms or has one name with the multiple functions. That means poly means many and morph means forms. So polymorphism provides us the ability to have multiple implementation with the same name. In object-oriented programming like C++, not C, C is a procedural-oriented language. Starting from the C++, this concept is there of polymorphism, and polymorphism can be implemented. Remember this, polymorphism can be implemented with the help of function overloading. With the help of function overloading. So function overloading is what? Function overloading, as the name indicates, to overload the function. That means how we can overload the function. If we declare a function with a particular name, then what are the ways to overload it? And why we will overload? The first reason is what? If I declare three operations with the three different functions in C++ with the three different names, they will take the three different positions inside the memory. First thing you have to learn about this. But when we do the function overloading, it will provide the facility to declare all the three functions with the same name, but the parameters or the data type must be different. We will learn and we will see practically in the coming lecture that how we can implement function overloading, isn't it? So as you can see in the screen, I have written there, function overloading is a common way of implementing polymorphism. It is the ability to redefine a function in a more than one form. A user can implement function overloading by defining two or more functions in a class. If you are declaring a class, or you do without class in C++, but the other programming object oriented programming languages require a class for that. Sharing the same name, C++ can distinguish the functions with a different function signature. Function signatures means the data type or the different parameters must be there. The number of parameters or the order of parameters or the data type should be different. It should not, if I declare a method with or a function, somewhere it is called as a method, when I declare a function name same, I can't use the same data type or same parameters, number of parameters. If the same number of parameters there, the data type should be different or order should be different. It should not be, if I declare the variable, if I declare the function which is a type of two parameters, which is type of int, both the parameters are of int, I can't declare another function with the same parameters, with the same data type, that is int and int. I will do and I will show all the things in practical. Then the question is, why do we need function overloading? It is 105% confusing for every student or every learner. When we do the function overloading, we confuse it with why we are confusing at every step, why we are confusing ourselves every time we confuse with it, because we don't understand why we are using function overloading. In this lecture, we will see why we will use. If we need to do same kind of operations in different ways, that is for different inputs, isn't it? For different inputs, different way of doing methods or functions is there. That means, for example, if there is a case of area of circle, area of rectangle and area of square, all the three has the same thing, area, but the inputs are different, right? For that case, right, for that case we can use the function overloading. But we have to remember this: function overloading can be done only and only by changing the number of parameters in two functions, the data type of the parameter of the function, or the order of the parameter of the functions. Otherwise it will not work. If you don't use these three types, of any one you can use while using function overloading, isn't it? I think it is clear to you now how we can use function overloading and why we are using. See, this is the simple example of function overloading where I have used the same name add as a function, and I'm providing the three different signatures, that is three different types of three different or type arguments. First I have provided 2, then I have provided 3 parameters, then 4, and the fourth, see, the float add, that is return type, is also different. So all the three are differ from one to another in the similar manner. That's why I'm saying that function overloading can't be without changing any one of the which we have studied, isn't it? So function overloading is basically used whenever we want memory should be fully utilized. So let me start with the practical work, how we can do it. If I create, suppose I want to display a message, or I want to display, you can say, numbers, 2 numbers or 3 numbers, using a display method or a function, but using the same name display, how function overloading can be implemented with the help of this. So what we will do, we will declare a display function by declaring the function data types of the parameters differ, or the arguments or the order differ. So how we can implement, we will start with the main, and what we will do the whatever we have to do. For example, we use the concept, a definition part for that. So we will use a statement concept of function overloading, and we will use with the semicolon. We are using slash and for new line, right? So what we do here, we will use the same name display for the both functions, all the functions which we want to declare, right? So now display is a function now. So what we will do, we will declare some variables for this. For example, a is a variable which is type of integer, and c is a variable which is type of character, and m is a variable which is type of float. So see how we will implement the function overloading with the help of this. So display is first function, then I am overloading it with the character type of data. See, the both the data types are differ. You can see a is a type which is integer, c is a type which is character. Now what we will do, we will again say display with the data type float here, right? So see, you can't use the same data type again and again. I am changing the data type, but the name is same. Now what happens inside the memory? I'm using getch with a semicolon close, and I will run the program first and see what happens. Then we will explain it to you. So this is the program, as you can see, right, with the all. Now what we will do, if we do without the definition, it will prompt you an error, right? So we need the three definitions for it. Here we are defining the method or a function three times. Why? Because data types are different. It's not one single data type. If we use single data type, it will not work. And if I use a single definition, still it will not work because data types are different. Isn't it? Then what is the purpose to define? Because endl is used for new line. What is the purpose to define? It is purpose is what? When we use the same name, it will initialize its position at one position in memory. It will not scatter the three different methods in three different places. So it will always start from the one one position, that is display, and that position will be, every time that position will be expand or collapse according to the number of lines which we have used inside the function. If the function contains addition of two numbers, then it will expand for two numbers, then for three numbers in the similar manner. So it starting, that means the starting point of the function will be the same for the three different functions. But if you will not use the overload method, the three different functions require three different positions. This is the way how we can manage the memory management through the function overloading, isn't it? So we have designed all the three functions. We have already seen the concept of functions in earlier. So display, float, m. So these are the three types of functions having the same name. So polymorphism is here. Display is a one form and many forms. That means poly, many, morphism means forms. So many forms. Display has many forms. Integer type, character type, float type. Isn't it? So now if we run the program and we will see what is the output. So we need to compile first. Compilation will display me how many errors I have made in the program, isn't it? So we will see how many errors. We didn't put the semicolon, so we will put semicolon, and see, a number of times you make the errors, you will become a good programmer. Believe me. If the program will run at the first instant, so you will not learn anything. So you need to make some small errors, then you can learn by the debugging process, right? If you compile, then we will run the program and see. Function overloading concept is there, number is 9, character is D, decimal number is 8. Isn't it? Isn't it great? Memory management is there. So this is the concept of function overloading. If we see, function overloading will work only and only if we use the different data types, the order different, or the third one was the parameters different. So if we use the same integer data type, I can show you in C here, and for example I take the C instead of char I use the integer data type for the C. So what will happen? See what will happen there. So I am changing it with the comma C, right? And I am putting a comment here. See what I am trying to say you, that function overloading will not work like this. So I have used two variables of the same type, integer, and I am passing the same. So what will be the error? You can see the error. Error is redefinition of int display. That means you can't redefine the same type, and you can't redefine the same number of arguments or same number of, you have to follow any one rule which was earlier studied by us, isn't it? So you have to keep in mind these three rules which we studied. So that means you have to mention here different data type, then and then this program will work. Otherwise it will prompt you an error, and it will show you that redefinition of int display. because you are redefining it. So we will change it again and we will see the errors are 0 0, and we will compile the program again and see. And now we run the program, we have changed it again to the character, then it will prompt. It will not prompt you any error, it will display the output according to the function overloading concept. So this is the way how we can overload the parameter, right? Now, the concept is how actually means what is a practical application of it. So we will do a small and a simple program to learn the concept of function overloading in a area of rectangle and a square. See, area is the same word for both, but the operations are different. Rectangle area is length into breadth, square area is length into length. That means what? Operations are different, but the name is same. That means we are overloading again here. So this is again the concept of function overloading. So what we require for it? So we will start with the main again, and we will declare the variables first. The first thing is important to declare the variables. How many variables we require? We require two variables. Either we can enter them separately, either we can enter them at this one line. So we are entering at the same line, enter the length and the breadth, right? We will not enter, we know that we can enter with like in the second line also, but we are now in an intermediate level, so we can use it this concept L, then the two greater than sign, then the B and the semicolon, isn't it? Now we have entered, we will use a function that is called area and pass the, because for the square we require only L, isn't it? And for your rectangle we require the both length and the breadth, isn't it? So we will pass and we will make the function either outside. We have to make the function body outside the main. It can be at the top or it can be at the bottom, but the outside the main. So what we will do, we will make the body of area first function, that is a length. So it is a type of integer. Yes, we have made it. Now we will choose a variable for the area. A is equals to, what is the formula? L into L, that is square into square, that is side into side, isn't it? So semicolon, we can put the units or as well as, but I'm not putting the units for it. So I'm just putting area of square is equals to, or whatever you want to put, concatenate it with the a variable, right? And put handle for the, because we have again a one function. So we will declare again the second with the same name. See, function overloading, same name but the parameters are different. So int L, we are overloading, the starting point inside the memory will be the same area, now it is overloaded at that same position, right? So you have to keep in mind that. So A is equals to length into breadth, right? Now see out again, area of rectangle is now rectangle area, and the variable will be again the A, because A is the local variable to the function where we have defined. It is not global variable, so it will not affect anymore. So it is a local variable, and local variable you can define any type of local variable here. So this is the first definition, this is the second definition. Okay, now the overloading is there. You can declare in the manner many functions, or you can call many functions, area of circle, area of square, area of rhombus. You can declare any type, but the parameters should be different, or the data type or the number of arguments should be different, or the order should be different. Now we will compile it and see whether our program is right or wrong. We can see by the compiling what is the problem there. No error, no warnings. So that means our program is 101% correct. So we will see the output, enter the length and the breadth. So this is my area 64, area of rectangle is 56, that is 8 into 7, isn't it? Now we will put a space between area of square 64. So what we will need? We have to go to the, yes, we will go there and we will put some small spaces, and we will put again some small spaces, and then we will compile it. So if we run the program, see, if we run the program, it will not affect because we have not compiled it, right? Every time when you make the changes, you have to compile it first, because every time code has to compile to convert it into the object code. So run it we have compiled it. Now what we will do, we will compile it again and we will run it. So see, now the effect of spaces will be there. Yes, this is very fine. So area of square is 49, area of rectangle 42. In the similar manner, you can do many more problems related to function overloading. Hope, I think you must have understand this concept, and I think this the concept is clear now. So if you like this type of content, let me know, and stay safe till I'm back with the other topic of C++ or any other programming language. Let me know how was this video and how helpful is this video for you, isn't it? Take care, stay safe till we meet again for the next topic, which will be related to OOPS or related to any other programming language. Stay safe, take care, and keep watching and keep practicing your programming language. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for watching the content I make. Thank you so much.